Alright guys, it's August 10th. It's a Monday here in Korea. I had a few trades already today on oil. The last trade was a number one. So basically you see this nice big up movement pre-market, right? And it came back down and hit the bottom of this range of this low value area, right? Where that movement really started to initiate on the upside. Went long at the 43.63, 64. Had a stop down at the 53 level. Didn't hit it. Was literally one tick away from hitting that thing, and then it shot up tremendously from there. And these number ones work very well, especially when markets are trending. And I scaled out of that, but this thing has a lot more room to move up. Same thing with gold. This is a trader that I'm in right now. I actually scaled out 2 contracts at Friday's highs at the 89 or 98.9. And I'm still in about 5 contracts looking for this thing to kind of run, especially if it holds above. And now let me go back to the 5-minute real quick. If it holds above this high here, I mean, if I look back, let me see, let's do an hour. The next resistance area, I mean, really it's really the top of the zone, like the 103, 104. So it's got a lot of legs on its way up. I could scale out some more at the 102.3 right here, and I'll go ahead and put some there, but right now additional $1,700. The 2 contracts that I got out earlier at the 98.9 or 98.8 netted me about $600, a little bit over $600 from my entry. Let's see. So if I were to look over here in this area, so really this next spike, I'll look at that HVA there at 102.2. So I can go ahead and I'll put at least I'll go ahead and put some. I'll put a contract there at 102.2 to scale out at, and then really, I mean, that would be a pretty good target actually. The next, if it really wants to go extreme, probably the 104 area. I don't really see it really coming up higher than that. I mean, if it does, great, but I don't want to stay in that long. I mean, I'm already up about $2,400 right there. So scaling out as we go up is a smart thing to do. So let's see. Oops. And so let me go back and review really quickly as I look at places to scale out at. Okay, so it's still moving up. It looks like it has a potential to hit that target. I mean, gold, once it moves, it really moves fast. So that's the thing. So we had an uptrend intraday, came down into that initial breakout area, right? Where Friday just kind of consolidated at the end of the day, broke down below it, consolidated around that area again, and then broke out of that, came down, retraced into that level, and then held, broke out again, held the high of this HVA right here of this balance area, and then I was just looking for this thing to go long as it came down and bought in. And then once it broke out of this area, came down and kind of retraced very small into the top of that range and really shot up from there, which is great. And I'd say that 102.2 area would be a really good scale out. Let me see. Go ahead and put that out there. So about 2,700, 2,600. So about 3,200 so far, probably more than that netted today so far on this trade. So could hold, and actually, matter of fact, you know what, I mean, it's moved up enough. I'm gonna go ahead and scale out a little bit more than that. Let's see.
Order cancelled. pending.
Let's see, 1013. What's the high earlier? And this thing's just it's a monster. Let's see, go ahead and maybe scale out there. What I will do is like I'll leave a few runners as this thing kind of pushes up.
Order canceled. Order pending.
Really, I'm not really sure where the next levels are. I mean, we're kind of in the highs, you know. We're right around where that previous resistance areas were, but I mean, it just broke out of here, so that's why I scale out as we go, right? Let me go to 1 minute real quickly, see if there's any consolidation. Okay, so got a lot of orders right here at that 1100, so really need to see this thing kind of hold if I want to see this thing move back up in the next couple minutes. If not, you could see some retracement, just because we are in the resistance zone. And you know, I've talked about this before where I mapped it out, because we've been kind of just ranging back and forth within. This is kind of the highs of the upper resistance, the lows here of this support area, since we saw this real big drop in July earlier. So you know, we're still ranging up and down, up and down. I mean, who's to really say that this thing's gonna break out today? I mean, it's a Monday, who knows? But most likely not. But if it does come up in this area, every time we've seen it, it will spike up and then it'll come back down. So that's why you gotta be kind of careful and scale out as you go. But a little bit of retracement is not a bad thing, because oil will retrace and then just keep shooting up, especially when it really starts to move in one direction. And I gotta see, you know, like really it hasn't been too long since I've let this thing really push up. So that is the trade. This is probably gonna take a lot longer than I'm anticipating, because I wanted to scale out at the, let's see, and you guys see that the previous HVA at 1102.2. So that's really my initial target. And if I go back here, you got little high value areas also lining up there too. So it gives me kind of a reason why, you know, that I'd want to scale out at those price levels, because previously, anytime it came in that area, you know, that was a pretty hard resistance, right? So if we are in a ranging market, it's just gonna hit the top of those resistance areas and then just come back down. Right now, you know, as you can see on the longer term, you can see this thing, the trend is moving back up, but big picture wise, it's still in a balance. So just kind of keep that in context. You know, as this thing goes up, I'm not going to expect this thing, just because it broke this, you know, Friday's high, that this thing is just going to keep going up like, you know, $5 to $10 off this move. Let's go back to oil again. So oil is great, you know, like broke above the pre-market high and then just kept going from there. So we're already up 100 ticks. If I would have held on to that and managed just oil today, you know, per contract, I'd be up $1,000. So that would have been an amazing trade right there. And what I've been noticing lately is really these number ones. So you see an uptrend, or you see a trend in one direction, it goes against it, hits the low value area, and really starts to move. And you gotta look, you know, if it did this and it hesitated and then it didn't pop back up from here, you know, you could kind of like scale out of your runners and you just say like, hey, you know, this thing might not make it. But you know, there was a lot more momentum and volume as it was pushing up, and you knew that once it broke this pre-market high, that potentially this thing's going to really move up, and it is so far. So we got this little range right here, during the Wednesday's inventory came back down to. So most likely this is going to be the initial target if you were holding on to any runners as it kind of comes back up. Could be the bottom at the 44.80s, up as high as 45, but most likely it'll hit this range and either consolidate, or if it really wants to be crazy, I mean, it could just keep going up. But if I was still in this trade, that's where I'd be scaling out. I mean, I'd be scaling out at this point too, but as I get to the bottom of that range, and then if I had any runners left, I'd start scaling out at the top of that range. So S&P's not really fun today, so I'm glad I didn't trade that. And gold's been good. So let's see if this thing holds right here. It looks like it's consolidating right here, like I said, where you got a lot of volume at the 1100s. So as long as it holds here, should see some more upside. And once it breaks the 1101, it should hit my target up here at 11.022. So I got about 4 more runners left on that, and we'll see what happens there. Alright guys, I'm back. Hit all my targets, including the HVA up here at 1104, which I didn't hold on to. I got out at the 1102 and it kind of came up a little bit higher, and just scaled out just to capture it. This is what gold does. It just once it moves up, it's insane. Just when it moves in one direction. So pretty neat. I definitely would have scaled out here. Not really sure how much higher it's gonna go. It's in the top of this range. I mean, if it does break out of here, so be it. Not a whole lot of resistance if it breaks out and hits 1108 and then goes beyond there. But really, there's no news or anything like that that's really driving this thing to push up. So if it does move up, it could start to kind of pull back down from the highs, but we'll have to see, because it's just been kind of ranging in one direction, and we've been looking for a breakout for quite some time now, since mid-July. So it is now getting to the middle of August here, and we just gotta look for some movement, a breakout to the upside or downside, and then really see this thing move. So until then, we just keep trading within this range, and we're day traders, so we just look at the intraday price movements and looking at profile and breakout of HVA or LVA. So right now it looks like it's kind of hesitating up here at the highs. That would have been a really good target, and as you can see, these targets, like I said, 1022 was a good one. Once it hit that, it hesitated, came down, broke through there, and once it broke through there, hit that 1043. Went a little bit beyond that, but really, if you had targets here, you would have safely been out and scaled out of the market. So it's kind of neat to see those profile levels in previous days to weeks that you can use as targets as it moves in that direction. So with that said, close the video. Made about a little over $4,000 today on gold and oil combined. Again, I focus on one of the markets. I tried both, so I didn't have max contracts, on both gold and oil, but I was able to scale out on oil, get a pretty good 50 ticks, 40 to 50 ticks on that, and then on here, where do we enter in at? This breakout of the 97 level. Actually, it was like around the 96 something, right? And then scale out as we went up. So at least a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, more like 6, because I scaled out here. About 6 points there. So per contract, per contract there's about $600. So not bad. On the 5 minute, as you guys can see, once it broke out, You know, you got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. I mean, we made all those ticks, and that's a lot of ticks to be moving up that quickly. And that's the power of breakouts in market profile. Hope you guys learned a lot. This is just a Monday, the beginning of the week, a great start of the week here. And both on oil and gold. Look at that. And they actually pretty much had the same type of movement where you had it trending in one direction. Market in the moving averages really spread out, went against it, held the low value areas, right? And really rocketed it to the upside. And then what it did was it both broke the highs of the pre-market level and then really shot up from there, as you can see. Look at that. Once it broke from holding this this low here, it nearly doubled. I mean, it more than doubled that movement, right? So, matter of fact, let me see if this will work for you guys. Just another way you can look at it and see how it would how far the potential move will be if you were using Fibonacci. Is you do Fibonacci extension, you got the lows and the highs there, and then there you have your 120% extension right there. And you can scale out the 100, you can scale out the 120 at least, right? Especially because you know that it broke out of the HVA here. If you were to hold any runners and really want to hold this thing up, you can hold it up to the 45 level, and it makes sense. I mean, we kind of hit this this little consolidation right here, like I said, which is a low over here on Wednesday once inventory news came out. So it hasn't quite reached there, but if it does and breaks through it, it could come up to the 45s and into this range right here. Let me create a little box so you guys can see a little bit clearer. So if you look after inventory came out, shot down, stayed held at the lows here, came down, bounced, broke through the low of this sideways movement, shot down, hit the bottom of that, came down, right, consolidated below it, came into the to the zone for a little while pre-market on Friday, and then Friday ended low again, and then did not hold this area here, shot up significantly, but still has a few more ticks to go, about 10 ticks from the recent high to hit the bottom of that resistance area that's just been formed recently, and it might not go today, and that's why we got to scale out. But if it does, definitely scale out in this area, right? Because a lot of sellers kept pushing the market down last week, and if it tests it for the first time, you're probably going to see a reaction there. Now, if it does something odd and goes through it, then then you can kind of see this thing retrace down, and maybe by tomorrow or by the end of this week, you'll see this thing kind of retrace and move back up into these levels where price kind of initially dropped from, right? And really would have to break that 45, 20 area, because if you can see back here, that was a low here, right? Finally broke that low and then held it, right? Over here, held that low, right? So if it does come up here, it's got to break through there for buyers to kind of be back in control for oil. But either way, we don't trade like hours on end. I mean, that was a huge, making 100 ticks, within this amount of time is great. You can't ask for anything better. So with that said, I'll close the video up, guys. Again, Monday started off very well. Both great trades on oil and gold. I haven't traded gold in a long time, but that was nice to get that. Wish I would have held it a little bit higher, but I was satisfied with the type of move that it had right there. So with that said, I'll close this video out, and we will talk to you for the rest of the week. I'll be making videos and trades every day, so we'll continue this. Great start of the week, guys. Good night.